Hello guys, this is Anupma. How are you all? Hope you are doing great, you are doing good, right? So today we are going to read a very beautiful book. That book name is Do the Work, whose writer is Steven Pressfield. So first we'll read about this book a little bit and then we'll go to summary, okay? So let's get started. Why should you read this book summary? So, did you ever feel like you need to do something but end up procrastinating? As you continually delay the work, something inside you tells you that you need to do something. It's frustrating, isn't it? But you don't need to feel that anymore. This book will show you the practical ways to apply in your life for you to succeed. This book will help you to stop too much planning and procrastinating and get the work done. This book will teach you how to do the work properly and inspire you to achieve your goals. Who should read this book? This summary, though, anyone can read this book, like college students, young adults, writers, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone who needs motivation who can read this book. About the author, Steven Pressfield is a teacher, copywriter, and author of famous historical and non-fiction books. He graduated from Duke University in 1965 and published his first book, War of Art, which brought him great success in 2002. Okay, so this one is a short brief about this book, and now we'll go to the summary. Introduction. In every work we do, we should understand that we could face enemies along the way. These are external enemies such as distractions, rejections, and insults. However, our enemies do not only come from our surroundings or the people around us, the enemy could also be inside of us. The worst enemy that we could ever encounter is the one that is inside of us. This enemy is called resistance. It constantly feeds us with doubt, insecurities, and lies. A strong force inside us tells us that we cannot do it, we are not worthy, or we don't deserve it. As you read this book, you will learn more about resistance and how to deal with it properly, along with the other enemies we have. But before you dive into the summary, prepare yourself by thinking about your purpose in this world and the steps you want to achieve. Now think about the goals, the plans, and the victory. Think about all of these things, no matter how impossible or unreachable they may be. This book will show you how those dreams can be achieved. This is a book that will show you that nothing is impossible if you don't give up. You may not have realized it yet, but your greatest enemy is what's inside of you, and this book will teach you how to deal with it. Start before you are ready. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci started his masterpiece, The Last Supper, with only 3 main themes? First is a table that spreads over the entire canvas. Second, Da Vinci positioned Jesus to be at the center and placed the apostles in random positions from left to right. Third, Da Vinci made a good background behind the table and the apostles. Any masterpiece is started by talking action, even it's just a few simple ones. The only difference between successful and ordinary people is that successful people took the initiative to start and continually work on it. You don't need magic or miracle to start your work. Just start. The magic is inside of you and not on external things. There is a power in focus, passion, and perseverance. Just start your work and everything will follow. This was all Da Vinci needed to start his masterpiece. Other details were just provided later on. This story was told to make you understand that to create a great masterpiece, you just have to start with the simple things first. Stop thinking, stop preparing, just do it. You need to know that our enemy is not that we are not prepared. It's not about how challenging the project is or the lack of resources. The only enemy we have here is resistance. Resistance makes us hesitant and encourages us to quit. This resistance is the noise in our heads that makes all forms of excuses why we cannot do what we have to do. This noise is the voice of your parents, grandparents, and even your ancestors that tells you to remain in your comfort zone so that you won't be hurt. This noise tells you to stick with this system and don't do anything new. We have a comfort zone because we consider it a place that we know and have experienced for years. This zone is where we have been since the moment we were born. Are you willing to stay in a place like this? Is it okay for you to remain stagnant? Going out of your comfort zone might hurt you, but what is growth without a bit of pain, right? You learn when you get hurt. But most importantly, you will never know your true potential if you don't get rid of the comfort and experience pain. Once you start the work and focus on it, you won't have to deal with the resistance anymore. Have the courage and boldness to fight the resistance. By doing so, you can start the life that you dream of. Research is one of the first things you will do once you decide to create the life you want. But research is not just part of the preparation for work. Research is the work itself. Thus, you don't have to do too much reading for 6 months, highlighting and taking down notes. You just have to let the information sink in and let the ideas flow within. You don't have to overthink, just let the ideas flow. Once an idea kicks in, quickly write it down right away. Even if it doesn't make sense yet, you can do the analysis later, but now just do the work. Remember the story we had earlier? Da Vinci started his painting with just raw ideas. In the same way, you can start your work with your raw ideas too. Stop preparing and start getting real work done. To get work done, you don't follow a linear flow. Most people think you have to follow a strict formula and begin with the introduction, body, and conclusion. However, you don't need to do that. You don't need to force your mind if it still cannot produce any idea for the beginning of your work. Once you get a vision for the conclusion, begin with the ending. If the ideas for the climax comes, you can start in the middle. You own your work and you must have control over it. You are the master of your craft and you can do anything you want. You make the rules and no one's going to scold you for that. Most screenwriters, business owners, and authors start from the end to the beginning. They first try to understand where they want to go and build up their way backward. Imagine yourself wanting to go up to the upper floor of your house. First, you need to find the staircase that will lead you to the upper floor. Then once you already found the stairs, you will take your step one at a time. Right? In the same way, to find out where you are going, you just need to know the essence of why you even started. Once you learn what it is, it will be easy for you to understand your ending and the steps to go there. The universe is not indifferent. In physics, you have learned the third law of motion. It states that there is always an equal and opposite reaction for every action. Hence, when you are walking, your feet exert a force on the ground. The ground also gives an equal and opposite reaction to your feet, allowing you to lift them up and down. Once you start to think about making your place in the world, whether it is about making a blog, creating your novel, making your product, or starting a business, the universe gives us an equal and opposite reaction. We have discussed in the previous chapter the meaning of the opposite reaction, which is resistance. Now we will discuss the equal reaction of the universe, and that is assistance. Resistance is powerful and it can never be eliminated, but we can overpower it using assistance. The moment you decide to start your craft, the interest, hope, and perseverance you pour into your work is a powerful one. That is why the universe can't help but be attracted to the power you possess, and therefore the universe responds to you in the form of ideas. You can start your song with a few lines, but now you can have half of an opera. You created a book within a few pages, but now you are halfway through it. You started with only courage and determination as your weapon, but your work had a life of its own and gained momentum. The universe helped you to fight the resistance, and now your ideas are flowing creatively. Assistance is the force that improves your creativity. It is what helps you to make your dreams become a reality. Observe this example. Pat Riley is a basketball coach of the Lakers. With his years of teaching and being in the game, Pat knows what kind of distractions and resistance arise inside. He was watching all the media staffs, agents, sponsors, and fans inside. He knew they are all factors that hinder one's success in the game. Pat calls them the peripheral opponents. Contrary to this belief, resistance is not a peripheral opponent. It does not come from our boss, friends, family, or co-workers. Resistance comes from within us. Therefore, we are the only ones who can beat it. Your lack of motivation is not mainly because of your environment or the support of the people around you. It's yourself. Even if you travel to a nice, cozy, quiet place, you will never beat resistance unless you accept that it is coming from you. However, even if the resistance comes from you, you must understand that it isn't you. The noise of resistance may be coming from your head, but you don't have to blame yourself for it. It was just inevitably a part of you. What you have to do is battle this noise with the real and powerful you. The resistance is like a dragon, but your authentic self is the knight. A dragon that's enormously large and spits fire. It is one that guards the door to success. Resistance is like a dragon that stops you from passing through the door and vows to defend the door until its last breath. The greater the opponents, the greater the warrior. This means resistance is greater when your potential is big. Greater opposition comes when your power is big. The dragon only exists because it is afraid of how powerful you are. This leads us to the conclusion: the knight is more powerful than the dragon. Killer instinct. Imagine yourself finishing a novel that you have dreamed of ever since you were a kid. After finishing it, you prepare it on your mailing box and contact your agent to start selling. However, you didn't dare to start sipping it, fear starts to rule over your mind and it stops you from finishing your dream and finally letting the world know who you are. Shipping is a big step for someone to start his dream. Therefore, it is not suitable for someone with a weak heart. In the previous chapter, we have brought the monster of resistance down. But the fight is still not over. We need to have a killer instinct that will pierce right through the monster's heart. Imagine yourself standing in the front of two big doors. The left door was written heaven, but on the door to the right it says books about heaven. It's funny because most people would have chosen books about heaven instead of heaven itself. This is because people tend to think that going to heaven is too much for them. Thoughts like, who am I to go to heaven? Do I even have what it takes to be part of heaven? Am I worthy? Even if we are given a chance to be in heaven, we tend to be shy and not to take it for now. Then we just resort to books that show maybe just a little bit of what it feels and looks like in heaven. Why do we have this nature of backing out and quitting when there is an excellent opportunity before us? The problem is, it's not just about the fear of rejection. Most people back out because of the fear of success. And this fear of success is the reason for resistance. This fear of success is a silent predator. It is even invisible. You would not even realize that it is in you until you see that it has been eating up every aspect of your life and making you blind from all the opportunities given to you. But why does fear of success even exist? How is it even possible? Marianne Williamson can best explain the answer to this question. She is a best-selling author and political activist. Marianne said that our fear is created not because we are lacking, but because we are powerful beyond what we can imagine. Being in the spotlight is what frightens us the most, not to darkness. We always ask ourselves things like, am I talented, beautiful, and skilled? Who am I to be called by those adjectives? We fear what people will say about us. We are afraid of judgment. We are afraid of being insulted and ridiculed. But you are here in this world because of a reason, right? And you have a purpose. You have a unique role that only you can fulfill. It would be best if you stop thinking that you can only do so much, because the truth is, you can do so much more. Marianne Williamson even emphasized that we are all children of God and His children are always meant to shine. You do not have to lower yourself just so other people can stop being insecure with you. Our character is attached to bring glory in God's name and manifest it. Once we start to shine, we also give the people around us inspiration to be the same. To shine as who you truly are, not chained by fears and lies, is the best way to help and encourage the people around you. With this newfound hope, we can now confidently say, we choose the door that will lead to heaven. We are now stronger and wiser. We are ready to face the final obstacle, which is exposure. Once you decide to ship the novel you have written, you will be exposed. Once you start putting your business up on social media, you might fail. Once you upload your first YouTube video, you can be judged. Once you start posting your artwork, you can be humiliated. This is the truth about creating our voice out there. This book is about inspiring and giving you hope. It is also about giving you information on what you need to expect out there. Just like what happened to the author Steven Pressfield. A film named King Kong lives is the first writing job that Steven Pressfield had professionally along with his partner Ron Shawcett. They expected that the movie would be a blockbuster, hence, they even prepared a party venue for their successful premiere. They invited everyone they knew. They are so excited and enthusiastic as the premium comes near day by day, but they only became disappointed. No one showed up in the premiere, but there were a few friends who endured it and stayed. When the film ended, the light came out, everyone quickly stood and rushed towards the exit. Still, this didn't make them hopeless until the first week came and they never received even one good comment about the movie. It was devastating, especially for Steven Pressfield. He is a 42 years old man who gave up his full-time job to start becoming a writer. He had a chance to become a part of production in Hollywood. Yet Steven failed to make a good impression. Steven started thinking that he was worthless. He felt stupid and hopeless. It was his friend, Tony Koppelman, who grabbed him out of the pity party. Tony asked Steven if he was now going to quit, but Steven said no immediately. Then Tony said to him, "Then why are you sad? This is where you wanted to be, didn't you? You just had a big mistake, but you can get back up again. This is just the consequence of being exposed here in his field and experiencing everything for the first time. You should stop having that sad face and be happy." This advice made Steven realize that although he didn't experience success yet, he experienced a failure, and that's normal. Once we decide to put ourselves out to the world and be exposed, we should expect judgment. Experiencing failure and having mistakes is the essence of growth and learning. Fear and failure are normal. We won't learn anything if you won't have experience, right? So it's important to have experience. Conclusion: we all want to be successful in life by doing what we want, and this book showed you that you could achieve those dreams. This book is written not just to tell you how, but to inspire yourself to do it. This book urged you to start the first simple step to achieve your goals and dreams in life. You don't have to make significant changes or giant leaps. Even a tiny steps is enough. As long as you are pushing forward and being productive, here are some of the main points you have learned in this book. First, you have learned that you can start even when you are not ready. You don't need to plan the work too much, just start it. Second, you learn that the universe is also your friend. It gives you opportunities to grow and develop your skills. Lastly, you have learned that success should not be feared but embraced. It's time you stop thinking about other people and let yourself shine. Resistance is defeated once you start taking action. This book taught you that you could reach your dreams, you can achieve your goals. No one is stopping you but yourself. But to achieve your goals, you have to take simple steps like starting your work and doing what it takes. You have a unique purpose in life and no one can ever fulfill it but you. Find the work that makes you feel fulfilled in life and do it. Live for yourself and not for other people's expectations. If you reached here at the end of the conclusion, thank you so much for reading this book and tell me what you like about this book. What do you learn from this book? Please comment below and I will be very happy after reading your comment. Thank you so much for reading this book. Till then, tata, take care, bye bye, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel and please press the bell icon. Thank you so much.